Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Susan. Today I want to share with you how to actually pad your hip and your butt perfectly. You've been wondering how people come out looking so gorgeous. Anyways, today I'm going to share the secret. We are going to be drafting the pattern, we are going to be cutting it, we are going to be doing all the foam you should be using, everything, and the stitching. We are going to attach it to our skirt today. So if this sounds like what you like to learn, stay on the line guys while we get started. So one thing I want you to know is that if your hip is actually 40, if you're making this part, depending on the foam you're using, you're going to use 41. If you're using half-inch foam, you're going to make your hip 41. So you're going to do 40 plus 1, that's going to be 41, and that's what you're going to be using. You need to give space for the foam to accommodate. So from the waist to the hip, you take the hip measurement, and from the waist to the knee, you take the knee measurement, which is 17. It can be 18 depending on your size and your height also. So after I was done, I'm just going to mark these lines. Go ahead and mark these lines because you're going to be making all our curves on those lines. So you should do same. And on the waist line, you go ahead and mark 1 inch on the waistline, and also on the knee line you go ahead and mark 1 inch also. This is to make room for the curve that our hip usually have. 1 inch at the waist and 1 inch at the knee. So we're just going to connect them together just this way. Use your curve ruler and connect it this way from the waist to the hip and from the hip to the knee. Just curve it, turn your ruler this way and just curve it to give you that shape. You can see that's the shape of the hip is already showing there. So it's as simple as that. So when I was done doing that, I'm just going to cut it out. So after that, just note I already drafted the front and the back, like just this back. So I'm going to keep one side now. One piece is going to be for the front and one is going to be for the back. So that is it. So I'll just go ahead and keep one aside while we focus on this one being the front. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. If you want to make this, you're going to come down by 1 inch because your hip are not going to start from that. It's not starting exactly at that your measurement, like it's not starting exactly at your waist. You have to come down with about 1 inch or 1.5 inch. So that's what I just did. So at this point, at that hip line, this is for the front side, at that hip line I'm going to come in by 4.5. You can actually do 5 depending on your size. So I just did 4.5 over there, and from that 4.5 I'm going to connect to the down, that's to the knee, and I'll connect it to the waist. So that means as we have 4.5 in this place now, that means the waist is going to be 3.5 and the knee is going to be 3.5. Do you know why? Because we already minus 1 inch already. So we already minus 1 inch, so they are not going to be equal. So but when you, by the time you drag it, it's going to be straight. I hope you understand. We already took out 1 inch from the waist and 1 inch from the knee, so one inch is already missing out from that place. So I'm just going to go ahead now and connect. So this is our front. Mind you, I actually flip it to the left side. So it's the left side that we're actually drafting, like not the, when we started it was on the right side, but now it's on the left side. So please don't confuse yourself. You can already see the cuff is there already. So at this waist point, at this waistline, we are going to come down again by 1 inch and just cuff it, because at that point our waist is not straight, like it's kind of cuffy. It's not straight there is a little curve at the front part of our waist, that's just under our belly button or something like that. So just connect it to give her that curve instead of being straight. So that is what I did at that front. I just curve it I just came down by 1 inch, and that is it, guys, for this. So we are going to just connect it this way, you get, because the down part is actually smaller than the upper part. That's the point leading to the knee. So I'm just going to connect it with this curve roller. I'll use this curve roller and connect it this way, you can see. So it's very simple. Just connect it so it will not be straight. So this is the top. I'm just going to label it. This is the top and this is the down. This is our front pattern, guys. So I'm just going to go ahead now to cut it, then I'll keep it aside while we cut the bag. So this is the back pattern. I'm just going to go ahead now to also mark the, just to have these lines. So it's the same thing we did at the front, just to have the lines. So we are going to mark our hip, and from our hip to our knee. So go ahead and do the same. So I'm just going to connect these lines. So I just go ahead and connect. So when I was done, actually at this point I was supposed to come down by 1 inch at the back, just the same way we did for the front, but I noticed it was at the 2 inches. So I'm going to mark that one, then I'm going to make it bold. 1 inch, you're coming down by 1 inch, both front and back. So that's it. So at this back, pay close attention. At the back side, we're actually going to have underbutt. There is no underbutt at the front, but at the back we are going to have underbutt. So come down 5 inches from your butt. That's 5 inches from your hip. This also depends on your size, you get. So you measure it, place the measurement on your butt and measure, or if it's on your client, place it and measure. So I'm just going to keep that 5 inches mark there again, so because we are going to be needing it, you can see. So I'm just going to go ahead and just mark it. Then from the underbutt, what we have is 3 inches left. So we are going to, the reason why I did this is just for you to make it easier for us, for me to make it easier for you to curve, instead of just coming straight from the hip down to that knee. So it will be easier for you to curve very well. So this is the skirt I'm actually working with, guys. So I already told you, if your measurement is 35, you're going to add 1 inch extra. So that's it. So this is it. You're going to measure your, so you're going to take it away from your zipper, your zip allowance. So that's where you're going to take your measurement from your zip allowance in this measurement. So what I have is actually 9.05, which means that this actual measurement was about 9 inches, you get me, 9 inches. So that is it. So that is it. Just go ahead and measure after sewing and all of that, and shaping your side and everything. You know this is an inner sewing. You're going to stitch the zipper, you're going to stitch the lining separate from the fabric. So I'll just keep it aside because I already have what I want, which is 9.05. So that's 9.05 is what I'm actually going to put here. So at that point is 9.05. That's exactly what I put there. So I'm going to also draw these lines, straight lines, you get me. I'm going to draw these straight lines straight from the hip to the waist, and from the waist down to the knee. So actually you can see that at the back I did not really come down by that 1 inch that we came down from the front, because this is the back. So at this point, at that point where you have your hip, you're going to come in by half an inch. That's the half an inch is actually your ease, you get me. It's actually that like you're keeping space for the foam. That's going to be any foam that you're going to use, you get me. So this is it. That's the knee. And we are going to also take, right now I want to connect the underbutt. I want to connect the underbutt, so I just mark it that place. I just mark it that place, and I'm going to just mark that dotty. Then when I was done from marking that, I'm going to take about 3.5 This depends on your size actually. So I'm going to take about 3.5. You can do 5 depending of how you want it to be. So I just did 4 inches, and from that 4 inches I'm just going to go ahead and connect it. So I'll connect it from the waist down there, I'll connect it to the hip, and from that hip I'll connect it to the under butt. You get? Then from the under butt I'll connect it down to the knee. So for us to connect, I'm going to use this my curve ruler. So you can see I'm connecting it from that half inch that we kept. So just connect it this way. You're going to use this particular, you're going to use this curve ruler, or any other one is fine. So you can see that's the upper part of our butt. And from there, instead of just connecting, some people do connect it like straight down there, whichever one works for you. But I think the butt, there is a shape at the butt, like you get, like the picture I just showed you is kind of coffee. So just come in by about 4 inches, or this depends on how big you are, you get me. So I just came in by 4 inches, and from that hip I'm just going to connect it down to the under butt. You can see I'm just going to connect it this way. So you're going to take your time, it's not something you're going to rush. You can see. So instead of just making it straight like that, then from there I'm going to place my curve ruler this way. So I want a little bit coffee at that point, you get? I just want it to be a little bit coffee. So I'm just looking for the perfect side of the curve ruler that I'm going to use, so it will not be that bulky, or it will not look somehow. So this is the part I finally came up with. So because I don't want it to also be big there, so it's just a little curve instead of it to be straight. So this is the one you can see already. Our butt is already showing forth. So just connect it this way so you can see. So instead of making it straight, just scuff it a little bit. Doesn't this look like a butt? Does it not look? It does look. So this is exactly what we have over there. So this is it, guys. This is it. This is basically what we've done for the back pattern. You can see it's very easy and simple and straightforward. Have you watched this video to this point, and did you enjoy the video? Please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, and please subscribe, share to your friends, and turn on the notification button so you'll be notified whenever I make a new post. Thank you, guys. So I'm just going to go ahead now to label it. This is the back pattern. So this is actually the top, and this is the down. So I'm going to mark this arrow so I will know, because this thing can actually be confusing if you don't keep all this mark. So right now I'm going to go ahead now to cut our pattern out, so we can go ahead and cut the foam that we are going to be using for this padding. So guys, this is what we have. You can see this is it. This is the back pattern. So that is exactly what we have. So this is our front and this is our back. So our pattern is actually ready. So I'll just go now to cut this so you can see how it is. You know, our waist are not straight, so look at it. This is how it's going to be. There is going to be a little bit curve instead of it to just be straight over there. So guys, I'll also go ahead to cut that down part. So that's it. So this is how it's going to be. You get, this is how it's going to be. I'm just going to go ahead to mark this arrow. We are going to cut two of this each. You're going to cut it two of each. So this is the foam that we are using. This is the 1/4 inch foam. It's actually very small, so I'm actually using 3/4 foam shard. That's the one I have, so that's the one I'm going to use. Actually, I wanted to buy the 1/2 inch, but they did not have it, so you can get this foam at the where they are selling tailoring things. That's where I got my own, or where they are selling foam things. So I'll just place it and I'll cut it. You can see this is the foam I'm actually using. So I just place it and I'll cut it this way. We are going to cut two of this. We're going to cut two of it. So I'll use this one now. So I'll just place it and I'll cut another one. So when I was done, this is it. Just cut exactly the same thing because you have both left and right. So this is it, guys. So I'll just keep it aside. Then I'll also cut this one. This is also going to be double. It's going to be two. The foam you want to use depends on your preference, what you want, but I advise you to use the half-inch foam. I think the half-inch foam will really make it more natural. You get, it will be nice, but this one is also good because we are going to trim it very well. So it depends on what you want, especially if you're using a less fabric. Yes, this will really go well with a less fabric than Ankara. So that's it. So what we are going to do, we already have two each of this. So you're going to be very careful when you're placing this. You get me? You're going to be very, even when you're trimming it, you're going to be very, very careful. If not, you're going to trim the wrong side. So you're going to label it. You're going to mark it. You see the way I place it, this is how it's going to be. So small one, big one is going to lie down on one small one, while one small one is going to lie down on the one big one. In that way, we have two sides instead of having double. You get me? This is how I placed it. You can see how I place it. One big on one small and then one small on one big. So I'm just going to make this arrow and I'm going to label it. You will do the same. Do the same. If not, you're going to make mistakes. And if you don't have this foam again, it will delay your work. So go ahead and do this. So just label this. This is going to be the right side, while this other side is going to be the left side. So I'm going to label everything right and left so I don't mix it up. You get me? So this is also the right side. Label it right side, left. So you will not end up having just one side of this form. Then this arrow, so you know where the one that is going to be down and the one that is going to be up. You're still going to write it top and down. Yeah, I've written here, this is going to be on top and this is going to be top. Yes, why this is down. This is just so you don't make mistake, guys. So that's the reason why I'm just taking time to tell you guys all of this. That's the reason. So when you're done, you can see everything now. For us to make this our cup, for us to make this our padding very, very natural, for it to look so natural that people will not know that there is something there, because some people will tell you, yes, I made it, but when you see, you will notice it. For us to make it not to be very, very obvious that there is something, we are going to trim it. And as you want to trim, just mark the sides that you want to trim. If not, you're going to go ahead and trim the wrong side. If you trim this other side, the down part, they are the same side, but if you trim the down part, you're going to be having two. So in whatever you're doing, just place it first before you go ahead to trim it. This is what I did too. You can see. So go ahead and trim it and place them side by side. Like, keep them separately. Don't mix it up. Keep them separately. Don't mix it up. You get? So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to pick one now. So we are not trimming on the parts that we are sewing. That means this arrow, where we have this arrow, we are not trimming that part. We are actually trimming the side where we don't have the arrow. You get me? Those are the side that we are trimming because that's the side we don't want. In that side, it is not really big over there in our hip. It's not really that big. So it's the middle, like the side where you're going to join together. That's the part that you want more volume. So you're just going to trim it very well so it will be flat. Go ahead and trim it. Take your time. This is not something you're going to be rushing. You're just going to take your time. If you rush it, you're going to cut it. So go ahead and take your time and trim it very, very well. So this is me after trimming it. I'm going to trim the four, but I'll do them off camera, so it will not waste our time, because if I want to start doing it here, it will really. So guys, if you're finding value in this video, please go ahead and give it thumbs up, and also subscribe. This channel is a growing channel. We are going to be putting up so many tutorials, so you don't want to miss any of them. You can go ahead and check the ones that we have already, and more are coming, guys, trust me. So you can see how I'm trimming everything. You've seen it. You can see how we are trimming it. So you go ahead and do the same. At the part where you're sewing, don't trim that part. Just leave that part, because you actually need those volume there. Yes, you need it to be big over that side, so don't trim it. You can see. So this is what we actually have for one side. This is it when I was done trimming everything. You get, I'm done trimming all of it. I had to do it off the camera. So that's how we are going to stitch it. You can see that's how we are going to stitch it. Yes, and the part that we trim out is going to be inside. So guys, for us to cover this one and make it more natural, we are going to use este. You're going to make sure you use este or any type of something that it is going to gum, because you're going to gum this. Paper stay might not be all right. You know, this is foam. Even the carpenters, when they are doing anything, they cover it, so you also have to cover your own. So we are using este to cover it. So just go to where they are selling tailoring things, you use este and cover it. So I'm just going to cut it too. Everything is going to be 4 for this one, so I'll cut it separately first. I'll cut it 2 with allowances. I'm going to add allowance when I'm cutting it. So that's it. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this too. Then I'll also cut this one. So because you're going to use it to gum it. So this is it after I was done gumming it down. So this is going to make it. Then I'm still going to mark here so I don't make that mistake. You get, because it's not that visible. So I'm going to go ahead to label it also. So that's it, guys. So you're going to iron it on the part, because this este has gum. So you're going to iron the part that is on gum. You iron it inside, like on top of it. So this is it when I was done. You can see. So this is how it's going to be. You're also going to, no matter what you're doing, you're going to be placing it that way. So that's it. Go ahead and also label it. So that's it. So just go ahead and label this thing so you won't make mistakes. So that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So go ahead and do the same. Label them again. Just know that the side that you're going to be stitching is going to be that side that you have that your trimmings. You get me? That's going to be inside. So what I want to do right now, because I want to go ahead now and stitch, you're going to go ahead and stitch around. First stitch away, like don't stitch, just stitch very closely to the foam. You're not stitching on the foam. It's when you're done stitching very closely to the foam, you now stitch again on the foam, just very at the tip of that foam. Just stitch like 2 stitches, you can see, so that it will make it more flat and more soft at that front place. So when I was done, I just go ahead now and trim it. You can see how I trim everything down. So right now I'll go ahead to the machine and I'm going to sew it with 1/2 inch. So go ahead and stitch your own also with 1/2 inch. You can see how I place it. Place the big one on the small one and the small one on the big one, and just stitch it. So I'm done with one, and I'm going to do the same for this one. So just stitch it with 1/2 inch. So when I'm done, this is what I have. So you can see how it is. You can see how it is there. So is that part that you're trimming, that you trim, that is inside. So this is it. This is our hip padding. You can see how it came out. So the tips is actually, so you see that thing I told you to actually come down by 1 inch. This is it. So it's looking coffee at that point. So this is what we have. We are going to go ahead now and bring our lining, because you're stitching it on the lining. So I'm going to bring my lining right now, and I'm going to open here Then I also open the pad. Remember, there is this skirt actually has a band, so I'm just going to keep half inch and I'm going to stitch the band on the skirt. So I'm going to open it this way and I'm going to stitch on top. You get, I'm going to stitch on top of these lines that we have. So when I was done, this is what we have. And for it to be easy for me, after that I'm just going to, instead of us to just go ahead and stitch it round, I'm going to go ahead to use Amy gum. I don't want much stress, so I'll just add Amy gum to it and I'm going to iron it down so it will be easy. You get me? So that's what I'm going to do. I'll just iron it down with Amy gum. So go ahead and iron it with Amy gum. When you're done, even this middle part, you're still going to iron it, guys. So when I was done ironing with Amy gum, this is what it looks like. I've not stitched it yet. I've not gone ahead to stitch it yet. So right now I'll bring it out like this and I'm going to stitch it away. I'll stitch it on those parts that we have the stitches. So just away, I'll stitch everything down. So this is it when I was done stitching it. You can see how it is. As I was stitching, I was still dragging the cloth so it will not come up, like it will not be rough. So this is exactly what we have. This is on the lining. So right now I'm going to go ahead and join my seams. That's on the zipper side. I'm going to go ahead now and join my zip. You can see I'll just join this other part so we can have that one part that I'm going to join my hip. So that's it. You can see that's my hip. So when I was done, guys, this is exactly what it is. I've added my zipper and this is exactly what we have. Our hip padding is actually ready, guys. You can try this out and you will like it. It's actually very simple. If you followed my procedures, you get it perfectly. Yes, and you will like the outcome. So this is what we have, guys. You can see you too can stand out too. So this is where we'd like to come to the end of this tutorial. Please go ahead and subscribe and thank you so much for watching. And this is it. See you in my next one, guys. Bye.